Hi everyone, Gabe here with B&H. I am here on the show floor of the 2025 NAMM show in Anaheim, California. Really excited to be here. And as per what is almost a tradition for me now, I'm going to kick things off at the KORG booth to see what they have that's new, what they just announced and what they just released. And it turns out they just announced a ton of really cool new products. So let's just go take a look. All right, so our first stop is going to be here with the new version of the Kronos 3 that KORG just announced. This is the new version of their premium music workstation and stage keyboard. And this thing is really built like a tank. So it comes in 3 versions, 61, 73, and 88 keys. And it has all the bells and whistles that you could expect for a stage keyboard and music workstation in this tier. It feels super solid and it looks like it's really well suited for either the life on the road or would also really look great in a studio setup. At the center of the Kronos 3 is the large touch view display from which you can choose and tweak your sound and access all the unit submenus. And the Kronos also has physical controls, including 8 knobs, 9 faders, and a suite of hands-on performance control perfect for quick transition on stage. The Kronos 3 brings back thousands of sounds of the previous version of the Kronos sound libraries, but it also introduces 256 new sound programs, including newly designed, very realistic piano sounds, electric pianos, organs, synth, leads, and pads, and sample-based instruments. And it really puts a complete set of tools right at your fingertips. To achieve this, the Kronos 3 harnesses the power of 9 different sound engines, including the SGX2 piano sound engine, which recreates absolutely super amazingly precise piano sounds, the EP1, which is an electric piano emulation that emulates 6 models of some of the most popular electric pianos out there. It also has an MS-20 engine in there so that you can recreate amazing analog synth sounds, as well as a Poly 6 engine for the recreation of really cool and precise analog synthesizers. One last thing I want to say before I move on to the next one is how good the keyboard on this unit feels. Like it's a weighted keyboard that feels amazing under the fingers. All in all, the Kronos 3 is an absolute beast. It has so much packed in it. It's kind of a little hard to wrap your mind around it. And I highly recommend you come and check it out if you're at the show right now. Another really exciting release, and maybe one of my favorite here at the KORG booth, is this MiniKORG 700 SM. This thing is so deliciously nostalgic and also a love letter to an era in the history of synth making that produced some of the best instruments out there. The MiniKORG 700 SM is a downscale version of the original MiniKORG 700, which was designed in the 70s and which was actually KORG's first ever synth. And the really cool thing about this version is that it's been redesigned under the direction of Fumio Mieda, which is one of the original KORG engineers that created the original in the 70s. So they really tried to get as close as possible to the circuitry of the original as they could, and it really sounds like the original. The original MiniKORG 700 was designed to sit on top of an organ, so this is why some of the controls are located below the keyboard on the front of the unit. The synth features one multi-shape oscillator right here, which can be transposed over 5 octaves. The synth also features a second oscillator, which is here on the top left of the unit, and it can be used as a sound generator and balanced with the first oscillator. But it can also be used with one of 3 ring mod modes that are here with the selector switch, and also as a noise generator that can generate 2 different types of noise. So next, the signal goes into the filter, which is labeled the Traveler here on the MiniKORG 700 SM, and it's those 2 sliders. The top one is a low-pass filter, the bottom one is a high-pass filter, and together they act as a band-pass filter. Other cool features on the 700 SM include a really nice spring reverb, which you can dial in using this fader here. It also has aftertouch control on the keyboard, and it also now has a memory bank, so you can actually save presets and parameters and recall them easily using this row of buttons here at the top. In terms of connectivity, the 700 SM has USB for MIDI over USB and data transfer, as well as 5-pin MIDI in. It also has CV and gate in, an audio input so that you can process audio through the synth effects and filter, as well as a headphone output and a stereo output. So all in all, the MiniKORG 700 SM is an amazing and really fun synth. And if you're at the show, I really recommend you come and try it for yourself. Let's move on to the next item. So the next worthy release at the KORG booth is this module version of the multi-poly, which is inspired by the legendary Monopoly released by KORG in 1981. Now the module version brings back everything that the integrated design had, except it's now in a convenient 19-inch rack-mountable unit. So the multi-poly features next-gen analog modeling technology, which enables it to reproduce vintage analog synth super faithfully. And it also makes it possible to combine elements of different synths to create completely new instruments. The multi-poly is also a real workhorse that features 4 oscillators, a noise generator, a dual filter, and 3 insert effects. And in terms of the mod matrix, it has a super flexible modulation matrix with 4 looping envelopes, 5 LFOs, 6 mod processors, so if you can think it, I guarantee you the multi-poly can play it. The multi-poly is also MIDI 2.0 compatible, so not only can it receive MIDI data, but it can also send MIDI data back to your controller. So for example, when you use it with a key stage like here, it can send parameters info and patch info back to your controller, so you can easily and seamlessly tweak things straight from your MIDI controller. The multi-poly also features motion sequencing 2.0, and what that means is that it has a 4-part sequencer that lets you sequence each voice of the synth independently. So you can create really complex 4-part sequences that the synth will play live, and you can also edit them very precisely through the companion librarian app. The multi-poly is also fully compatible with the new software version of the synth that KORG has just announced at the show too. So you can actually make tweaks to your patch on the computer and they will translate instantly on the hardware. The desktop module version also brings back the really fun Chaos Physics pad, which lets you manipulate your sounds with effects that are inspired by game-like physics like gravity, reflection, and friction. All right, so the last items we're gonna check are actually 2 prototypes that KORG is showing here at the show, and they're 2 desktop audio interface, one of which has a pretty intriguing feature. So these are the Micro Audio 22 and 722, 2 tabletop audio interfaces with 2 ins and 2 outs, 48-volt phantom power, and a high-Z input, and is also processing for both with a built-in noise gate, a compressor, and a limiter. The Micro Audio 22 is just a simple audio interface, but the 722 has a built-in 700S filter inspired by the MiniKORG 700S filter built in the interface, so you can actually process your audio with the filter, and it also has a syncable LFO and an envelope follower with rates and init controls. So it's pretty intriguing to see an analog synth filter in an audio interface, and it's actually a really cool idea, and I really hope that KORG will bring it to fruition and put it on the market soon enough, but I can't tell you when. All right, so this is it for our quick overview of the KORG booth here at the NAMM show. I'm gonna be scouting the floor for more cool equipment and new releases on the show floor, so don't forget to tune in for the continuation of our coverage. This was Gabe with B&H, and I'll see you very soon.